Hi, I'm Ross.
And I'm Matilda.
And today we are going to be talking about Mamma Mia. This movie occupies a very weird space in pop culture discussion because I think every single person in the world has a different relationship with this movie, and it's never just casual. Everyone has very, very strong feelings about this movie. And I also have very strong feelings for it because I'm very grateful that this movie exists so that it could introduce a young Ross to ABBA, because that was very formative. But also, I don't think it's good.
I would argue also, I feel like Mamma Mia the movie was a bit of a turning point because I had forgotten, but for a long time, it was very uncool to like ABBA. And I would argue everyone our age, even if they don't like ABBA, it's not uncool to like ABBA. Everyone admits ABBA's good, like the movie coming out and everyone just realizing how many bangers there were. Just objectively, us all growing up on it in that context of like a fun movie instead of like disco songs the radio plays that are super uncool.
Yeah.
Like, I wonder if that shaped our generation's opinions of ABBA.
Apparently, Tom Hanks is also a huge ABBA fan.
Oh my God. And his wife, Rita Wilson.
Yeah.
COVID patient zeros.
Famous COVID patients.
So who is your dad? Sam, Bill or Harry? I don't know. But which one did you invite?
So Mamma Mia is the story of Sophie, who invites 3 men to her wedding who could potentially be her father, so they can all sing ABBA and the actors can be visibly drunk for most of the shoot.
I think the freedom and liberation you're feeling in these actors is really their Ouzo ration every day. You know, it kind of loosens it up a little for them, and, you know, breakfast, you know, a couple shots, you know, just get them going in the morning, you know.
That was the real motivation for this movie, I think, was just getting Meryl Streep drunk every day and seeing what happened.
There was basically no dialogue to learn because it's all songs. Most of the words to the ABBA songs they probably knew. Like, most of them grew up on it.
Absolutely.
Everyone else showed up and was basically doing drunk karaoke.
I mean, there's a story there, in a sense.
Arguably.
There are characters, sort of.
Again, arguably.
Yeah, I mean, all the characters are either extremely stock and like one thing, or they are just useless and don't need to be there at all. And there's also all the Greek people who I believe are ghosts haunting the island because the way Donna interacts with them is always kind of unsettling.
Every time the Greeks come out, it very much feels like a fourth wall break.
Yeah, in a movie that barely has a fourth wall already.
Yeah, it's already, again, more like watching someone's home videos.
Yeah, if you
There was such minimal choreography for them to learn. Most scenes, you can tell it's just them running around drunk and trying to do dance moves. Honey, Honey, the entire choreo is just them running and then pausing to sing.
What do you think is the scene in the movie where they are most obviously drunk?
Any scene with Meryl and like the adult women, they're plastered.
Oh, yeah.
They are the number one offenders for being drunk on set.
I feel like Christine Baranski was probably the most drunk.
I feel like it's Meryl. I feel like Rosie could handle her alcohol. Like, she was probably drinking as much or more, but she was handling it better. And also her character at work. Christine Baranski once in a while would make a face where I was like, oh, girl, drink some water, eat some bread. And and Meryl Streep was just like, do you want another one? The bachelorette party, I think that was probably where people were most consistently drunk for it.
Yeah.
As evidenced by Stellan's dance moves.
To see Stellan Skarsgård just play a nice man is so good.
You didn't even suspect that you were...
Well, no, of course not. It's always been a secret.
Something I found out today on this viewing is that Harry is gay. I have seen this movie several times. This is not a bit, and Matilda thought I was joking when we were watching the movie.
Because we were watching and you said, this is such a straight movie, and I was like, Mamma Mia?
Yeah,
like,
that was
aside
that
from
was
the
a
fact
bit.
that, yeah, but then you're like, yeah, like there's not one gay person here. And I was like, haha.
I have seen this movie more than once across several years of my life, and I have never once processed that Harry is gay. Somehow. And now, seeing the movie, I am shocked that I never did.
The part that I did get as a kid was at the end when he and the other man embrace with no clothes on.
See, you would think that would click in my head as like something I would remember that was important about the movie.
You were the first girl I ever loved. But actually, you were the last girl I ever loved.
I don't think this movie is good as a movie. If you were to ask me in terms of how you construct a film, characters, story, pacing, cinematography, exposure, things like that. But when you take into consideration that it was basically just Meryl Streep and her friends getting drunk and fucking around for like however long and doing ABBA karaoke together, the music is simultaneously the best and worst part of this movie. The performances are all fun, but not very good in terms of like singing.
I don't watch a lot of musicals, and I'm not like a big musical theater guy. However, I think while it was a good choice for a jukebox musical not to cast like traditionally theater trained vocalists, it was a bold choice to not cast anyone who can sing.
Yeah.
Seyfried and her little boy toy, they can both sing pretty well. Every other character, abysmal singing.
The last word I would use to describe ABBA's music is abrasive in any way.
Yeah.
And Pierce Brosnan's voice.
It used to be so nice, it used to be so good.
Obviously, Bill and Harry's characters were a little more fun because they didn't have to be the straight romantic lead. Both of those guys, I think, managed to make the characters just so lovable. Like,
Yeah.
every time they came on screen. If you spliced it together, they probably each had like 20 minutes of screen time, and they managed to just eat up every second of those.
Yeah,
Like,
the bromance is great.
Yeah, they managed to make us care about this bromance, which realistically, what do they have? 10 minutes of scenes together? They
Yeah.
have one conversation we see that's just them.
They met like the day before, and they're just best friends immediately.
They click, and Pierce, I don't think, figured out how to do that. Like, when he was trying to be funny, it was good, but I think they told him to reel it in because they wanted moms to be able to thirst after him.
Yeah, he had to be the charming one.
So he had to be charming and debonair and do the Bond thing. And honestly, I don't think Pierce Brosnan ever really liked that vibe of thing. Like, he was good at it, but he never really seemed 100% comfortable just being like charming and likable. Like, he always had to be kind of a cad, like Bond.
Mm-hmm.
And in this, they were like, just be a guy moms would love. Just
Yeah.
be the best guy. And like, what are you supposed to do with that?
Why waste a good wedding?
I kind of honestly wish that Bill and Donna had got together.
Yes,
And she got
absolutely.
to like leave the island and they could go have an adventure just like Sophie and Sky. And Bill has a sailboat and an ass that don't quit. So let's do that.
Do I take it the wedding is cancelled?
I'm not entirely sure what's happening right now.
I love Mamma Mia for being Mamma Mia. I notice that the plot is weak and the characters are shitty and non-existent. The songs are all
Well,
pretty
you're too
badly
busy noticing
produced.
that to realize that Harry's gay. So maybe you need to shift your focus.
Maybe I thought I was a pretty attentive viewer. I thought I could pick up on things. Somehow I missed this pretty crucial plot point.
And now we say it out loud.
No. It's absolutely hush-hush. I mean, for now.
You're just watching a bunch of moms and dads have fun, and there is a very pure energy to that. I
Oh,
feel there's
yeah.
no point in calling this movie
There is
bad.
no malice in
No.
Mamma Mia. Even the biggest fight,
You don't know if you love me.
Of course I love you. I just wish you'd told me.
like, there's no real tension. Because also, Donna's so stressed about Sophie finding out. And we know from literally the first scene that Sophie already knows and thinks it's fun.
Yeah.
So, like, Donna's whole plot of being like, oh, God, she's going to find out I'm a slut. And Sophie's, like, reading it like, oh, my God, Mama's such a slut.
Yeah.
You go, girl.
Sam Carmichael, Bill Anderson.
I try not to be a plot holes guy. And
Right.
I sustain movie magic. So this is not a complaint or criticism. This is only an observation that I think is somewhat funny. But we are supposed to believe that from a remote island that only recently got the internet, as is explained, she found 3 men from 2 different countries, all of which were different from her country, going off their first names and maybe are their last names in the diary?
Maybe.
I don't think we hear them. We just hear her say Bill and Sam. I must give them the benefit of doubt and assume she said the last name somewhere in the diary. You found the exact Bill Anderson your mom was talking about. There's no photos of these guys. She can't ask her mom to clarify. So she read 3 names, guessed their ages, and somehow found all of their mailing addresses.
This is 2008.
This
Internet.
is 2008. I bet if I looked right now, there are 1,000 Sam Carmichaels and 1,000 Harry Brights just in the United States.
I'm your father! Harry! No, that's why you sent me the invite. You wanted your old dad.
I would also say the bachelorette party scene, excellent.
Yeah, choreo's
Good
great.
choreo, great. It moves the plot along. Like, that's what every musical number should have been. Like, so much is happening. The character work is great. Everyone's funny. I would argue all the dads are drunk in that scene.
Oh, easily.
Easily.
Being a third of your dad is great by me.
Me too.
I'll take a third.
The wedding scene, the part where she says, "Your father's here," and they all stand up.
Comedy gold.
And they all see each other, and then they all slowly sit down. See, like that and the bachelorette party scene, I would say those were like unironically well done.
Oh, there's
for like
good
a
stuff in
comedy
there.
movie. No, I agree with you, especially when we're talking through it now. A lot of them are like, that's really just, it is bad. A lot of it
Yeah.
is so bad. Those are two scenes I would say that are well done and are good. And I think those were what set the tone for Mamma Mia 2.
Right.
Which ended up being a better movie. Those scenes were what showed the potential.
You couldn't have. I don't know which one it is.
The ultimate question of Mamma Mia is, must a movie be good? Can we not simply get drunk and sing ABBA? And every time in my life that I have gotten drunk and sang ABBA, occasionally with you, I've had a great time. And I can't deny I have a great time every time I watch Mamma Mia.